Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Everything's looking fine. For the first time back streaming. Apart from my chat. Let's get the chat on and then we'll get straight into it, guys. Friday, last day of the week. I've not had one trade this week, unfortunately. And that's just trading. Sometimes that happens. The sun's out, the guns are going to be out. I'm going to be naked sunbathing today later. Let's get some pips and let's get naked sunbathing. Can't beat a bit of naked sunbathing. Can't get any tan lines, can you? There we go, we're on, guys. We are on. Okay, cool. Right, let's quickly go over yesterday what we said. Okay, now for me, I did actually grab. If we go back to, let's go to this because it didn't happen until New York, which we thought that's what was going to happen. It wasn't going to happen until New York, so we had potential wingback sells from 21,181 and a second entry at 21,263. Okay, now what we did say is we want price to come up to there before we can get the sell stops on. Okay, so that's what we wanted to see. Okay, and then what happened is price came up and actually didn't activate my there we go. But it just missed our wingback sell. However, because we broke these highs, I did actually get in on this potential sell stop. So I did get on, but because you think we were expecting the daily to flip, weren't we? So what we were expecting at this point is the daily to come up and then flip to the downside to fill the rest of the range. It obviously hasn't done that, but that's what we were expecting. And then what happened is I went risk-free. I had a risk-free zone here. I went risk-free and price came straight back up and stopped us out. But the issue we had, there was loads of news. So I was cautious about the news. I don't know whether news had just sort of popped this back down. So there was quite a lot of news yesterday, which really threw us off. That's why I went risk-free pretty quick as well. So it was a break even for me. And then what happened is price came up. But at this point I wasn't interested. But as you can see, we did highlight an area where price can reject from. Okay, so yeah, one of them things, guys. There's nothing we could have done. So what we'll do now is we'll do another full top-down analysis on NAS and then see what we can grab today. Okay, it's always good practice to do full top-down every time you get on the charts. Okay, I think make sure my mic's even on. Otherwise I've been chatting shit the whole time for nothing. Let me know if that music's too loud as well. I don't think it should be. Okay, so let's do it full top down on NAS again. So we know the monthly closed back into the area after a fake out. Now we're coming to fill the range. That's the range of the monthly. It's filled the range as such, but it hasn't closed yet. So where are we going to close? Are we going to close above or are we going to close respecting, which will help us next month? Okay. So at the moment, it doesn't really give us much the monthly. So if we go down to weekly, what's going on with the weekly? Now, the weekly range for me, this is what I've got. I've got that, and I've got that on the weekly. Now, for me, if price technically is in this range, but here's a difficult thing. Price is in this range now on the weekly. So technically, where should price be going? Well, we've had a break above, so we should be coming up to fill the range. But we normally get a bottom wick before coming up to fill the top of the range. And we haven't had that bottom wick, so could we grab the sells down? Yes, we potentially could. And that's why we were looking at sells yesterday. Now, the thing is though, on the monthly, you could argue that we've tapped the range and we don't need to come higher up. We don't know where this monthly is going to close yet. So are we just going to mess about until this monthly closes? That's the question. But we should be able to get a bottom wick, I would think. So that is our sort of range, is what we're in, really. But you got to understand as well, we're on Friday today. So how much are we going to move today? Don't know. So then we go down to the daily. Now, what's the daily telling us? So what I've got is I've got a minor support in around this level, right? And it is a minor support, which we identified this yesterday, right? Which we closed below. And what we found is every time you close below or in around these areas, you tend to drive straight through down to these levels. But we were expecting price to pop down to there at some point. I'll just move that a bit closer. So we were expecting price to pop down there at some point. But then we were trying to work out, well, how steep does this top wick need to be on the daily? And that's where we identified our wing back sells, which they've already tapped them areas now. But then the daily didn't flip. So if you remember me saying on the stream yesterday, is this has created a new zone. This is new data, what's happening. So anything can happen at the moment. All we've got to go off is old data. And what does price do? Well, we have never closed here, came back down, closed below here without tapping 2780. Never. So if we've never done that, then the odds to come down to tap that is pretty high. But because this is new data for me, this is telling me that price can do anything really at the moment, because it's doing new stuff. And that's something we can't preempt, really. Something we can't preempt. So, similar really, the only thing I've got to go off is a bottom wick down to 2780. How would we get in? Because the daily's now bullish and the daily's now closed back above this zone. So the only thing I'd be interested in really is a wing back buy from here. Because we've closed bullish on the daily, I'd be interested in a wing back buy. If this could come down, tap, and then we get a flip back to the upside. So something like this one here. Tap, back up to the upside. But then you say, well, can we take the sellers down? Well, yeah, we potentially could off smaller time frame. So, the only other downside to this is if we do drive through this range to come down, how far can we drive? Well, we can drive quite a bit. So this drives to here. And these ones drive straight through to these levels. So do you need stops below there? Other than that'll be pretty big stops at that point. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one at the moment. We could potentially catch the sells down, but also potential wing back buy here. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at the smaller time frame and see how price rejects from these levels. Okay, so we could potentially grab both really. Let's have a look at what price. See, it's never rejected here, so I don't know how far this pullback's going to be. This is the issue we've got. put the Meraki on. 6 hour hasn't closed yet, but it did close bearish. Still respecting this level. Yeah, that's the forward range we're in. If we can get a forward close maybe below here, maybe look at sells. Let's see what the forwards do. Forward close, pull back. You could close there before. See what they do. We pull back to that, didn't we? Honest guys, I think we just need a break below. Where are you going? Everything's close, respecting this level. So why are we respecting? I don't know whether I'm interested in the buys up. The buys need to go. If we do flip, do we need to create? I'm just thinking out loud here. If we do flip, do we need to break the previous high? Potentially. What we could do, if we get no bottom wick on this 1 hour, just like this hour, 45 minutes left of this. Oh, 5 minutes left at this 2. 3 hours left of the 3. Oh, it's quite a strong area, that really. See how it does this here, look. So respecting, and comes up. What's this here? Let's have a look at this. And as soon as it taps this again, we just drop through the floor. Time's like 11. So even if you get bullish closes on the 3, you can still just drop through the floor. Could we take a potential wing back sell for 21,194? Potentially. Why did we plow through the floor from there? We've already tapped this level at 21,235. So if we can come to this, could we take a wing back sell? But would my stop be? If we put stops there, it's literally a case of we either get stopped or this plays out. When you close respecting like this, you tend to pull back. Then you just drop through the floor. You just go. You don't get a nice break below. I mean, look at that one candle what came straight through. So you don't get a look at that. You just don't get that lovely break below. This is off the 3 hours though, so either that or we're getting some sell stops underneath, but I don't want to pull back again now. If we get up to this level, okay, 21,197, we can either just get a sell stop underneath one of these lows, or we can take the wing back sell. The only thing is, I don't know if we're going to tap it with this one candle. I think it might take a few to get up, and then we're just going to drop. So down to do that. 3 o'clock, that's okay. So if we're expecting price to come up, could we not take the hour up? But the only thing that would be though, guys, that would mess with the daily. So technically the daily's bullish, right? The daily's bullish. And we've closed bullish. But if we look at this level here, we closed bullish here. Then price came up, didn't break the daily, the previous daily, and then we just bombed through the floor. Now if we're wrong, price will break the high. So this would just be a case of if price breaks the high, this is on. It's either stop loss or TP. Like we won't have time to sort of manage risk, if you like. I mean, it would be a lovely range. It would be like this. That's what I'd be after, and then I'd be after wing back buys from 20s. Just shy of a 5 to 1. See, this is broke a high, so these broke these highs. So we've got liquidity to break these lows. Yeah, that's what I've got going on, guys. That's what I'm after, really. Either that or sells below. Back sell. Let's go left. Let's see that area. 3 hours on. We're seeing. See, these come straight through, so again we've got to be careful. I think stops would be too big if I went above there, but let me find that 3 hour zone, what we're seeing. So it's when we close respecting these levels, wasn't it? This bit here. Let's mark this up. Okay, and then let's go down to 1 hour. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 hour. Okay, so if we look at the ones, yeah, it's very straightforward. I'm just wondering whether we could catch the buy up. We would need the hour to close. We might be able to catch the buy up if I can get a bottom wick. And we don't tap this level. Yeah, let's see what this hour does. We might have potential buys up here. If we don't tap 21,151 and the new hour gives me a bottom wick, we can get buy stops on that, would be our advantage point. But here's the thing, I would be like closing around here, or taking 75% of the trade out. So yeah, so just to quickly summarize, guys, we are looking at still down to this area, okay, off the daily, but the daily can flip to the upside now and drive up, right? But there is signs of where it can still come down as well. It's never drove up without coming to tap these levels at 27.80. So at some point, I think it's going to come and tap there, but we've just got to be able to catch the move. Now, what tends to happen is when you close respecting these levels, you tend to pull back or around these levels. Okay, around these levels, and then you just bomb straight through. You don't even get a nice close below in order to get in, because normally we would want a nice close below and then we can have a top wick and then sell stops underneath to come down and start filling the range. That's what we normally want, but it doesn't do that. What tends to happen is it literally bombs through the floor like that and doesn't give you a chance to get in. So then we've got to say, okay, are we willing to put the risk on to maybe grab that move? And I am. So I'm looking at a wing back sell from 21,197, and with my stops pretty tight, 21,284. But there is times where this has been hit, guys, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to manage risk. Really, it's going to be a case of stop losses hit, or we've caught the move and it's going to be to the downside. Now this is counter trend technically to the daily, counter trend to the daily. This daily can flip to the upside at any point, okay? The time where it's done that is here, but we didn't break the previous daily high. So there's that daily high there. So could we see a top wick in and around these levels before the flip to the downside? And then are we going to drive to the downside at that point? That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for, okay? Price tells me that it does, because look, price always comes down to these levels. This was a gap in the market, so we disregard this one. If you look at the big gap. So that's what we're trying to catch, basically, guys. You could potentially have a second entry on here, very tight to stops. So it would be very, you'd use the same lot. Basically where our wing back sell was yesterday. Actually, I wouldn't even do that, because you wouldn't want to break the high. This is the thing, you'd probably be looking around them levels. Let's have a look what it looks like. Ah, yeah. So you could potentially have another entry in and around these levels if you wanted to. 21,236. It's quite a strong support to get past. Really. Hopefully this will protect our stops. So that is NAS. That's what we've got on NAS. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's have a quick look at gold. So what did we have yesterday on gold? Can't actually remember. So why are these marked up? Oh, we had a wing back sell, didn't we? Potential wing back sell, which missed us just a tad. So we had a potential wing back sell from here, which has just missed us, and it would have came down to a take partial move to break even. So now that we've closed bearish on the daily, what does that mean? Well, that means that this daily could flip at any point, but the issue we've got is it's not at any support. So technically, price should still be pushing up to here, 3347, because there's nothing to reject off. This is just a pullback. So could we see this being bullish today and closing respecting these levels? Yeah, that's what we'd probably be looking at, really. That's a case. It's completely gone without us. There's no way we can get in on that. And here's the thing. So you've got this and this to play with. So you'd need some sort of structure. You need a pullback. And then you can maybe then go, okay, buys above there. Come up. So you're going to be waiting a while. So it looks like there's no trades on gold today. Look at that wing back, guys. Look at that wing back. Just missed us. Straight down. Look at that. That'd be lovely. Oh well. Yeah, so no trade for me on gold today. Where do I expect the daily to close? Well, I expect it to come up to these levels and maybe close respecting on these levels. 3349. There's nothing to reject off here where you've rejected. I mean, you could technically have a sell stop underneath the daily. If it does flip, it's highly likely you're going to be coming to at least there. At least. But you might not get activated. You technically could have a sell stop off this daily. If this daily does so happen to flip, and you're pretty confident it's going to be tapping 3267 at least. Hopefully coming down to these levels. That's your next zone there. Got a minor range there, and then you've got a strong zone here. So that's what you're looking at. But whether the daily's going to flip, it might not. 6 hours, 1 hour 30 left of the 6 hour. Yeah, it's not really for me, that, guys. Going to be waiting ages, I think. You think for the daily to flip in London session, you'd need something like that. Which you could get. But, so we'll keep an eye on it, but and there's nothing on oil for me. So let's have a look at, sorry, on gold. Let's have a look at oil. And all we're interested in is the daily. So the daily closed bearish. So this is where, so we're in on this for a swing trade. We closed out a small partial loss. We're waiting for, all we're after, guys, is the daily close back above here, but it looks like price needs to come down. So how far it comes down, I'm not really too sure. You've got a rejection area here. Do we need to re-thingy that? We need to. There's no reason to fake out like this back into the area apart from coming to break this low. So once we break this low, price then might want to decide the direction. That's when it could reject and come back up to the daily. Or we've just got it wrong and we're actually coming all the way down, because this is a really clean traffic range down. This is a really clean traffic range down to 4488. But obviously we've got sellers below this level. We just want to confirm. So you could technically get sells on now to come and break these lows. But this wouldn't be a swing trade. Oh, 3. Look at that 3. Look at the 1 on a flip. You've had a 1 breakout. That's a 3, 2, 1, 4. That's really nice. 30 down. 30 closed bullish, previous one. I don't really day trade this, but off the daily, technically the daily should be coming down. It hasn't had. If I'd had a top wick tapping previous support, then I'd probably be in on this now. But you should be coming down to break this low, at least I would think. Let's close respect. Yeah, if I get a top wick, I'd be interested in getting in. So I'm going to. I want to pull back to here. If I get a pull back to here, it'd sell down. If I don't, then it's not my trade to take. Yeah, if we get a pull back to there, we can get a sell stop underneath the daily to come down. That's as long as we haven't broke this low. If we broke this low and then come up, then I'm not interested. Okay, that's all I've got going on, guys. It's just a case of we flipped on the daily. How are we coming up? I'm looking at either a sell stop, a wing back sell on 21,197. That's what I'm after, really. Bit of a riskier trade, guys, because remember what I said is we're in an area where this rejection area here is new data. Price is never rejected from here. Okay, it's always been here, or the next level is here, here. So this is like in the middle of a range. It's never rejected here, so it means we actually don't have the data to know what price is going to do next. We're basically going off the lower time frames. And then comes back below, you're pretty confident that that was the top wick we needed. We need that top wick. Well, yeah, if this hour taps this wing back area, guys, I am in. I'm in. Come on, can we get up there? Come on, can we get up? 10 minutes for an hour close. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? My stops are going to be there, guys. I'm going to go make a cup of tea, guys. On me long. Go make a quick cup of tea. How are we looking? So we've had that hour close. Can we get the new hour to pop straight up? Driving, are we? I would like a pop up and then a flip to the downside ideally. So if we can get something like up and then a bearish close would be lovely. I'll be on till 10 anyway, guys, at least. I'll just do some admin while we're waiting. Which means work. If you've got any questions, guys, drop them in the chat. Good morning. What was it? Elijah? Welcome to the stream. So the way I do these streams, guys, so I used to stream last year. Last year I streamed for a year. That's what unreal. Really good. I'll get them up shortly for you. And then I stopped for a few months. Okay, and then we've decided to come back because we wanted to have it in-house. So I trade every day for our members in our community. And then last year we decided to come onto YouTube. We've done it on YouTube for a year. Our stats were fantastic. Good, big success. And then I've stopped for a few months, brought back in-house for a bit. And then we've decided to come back onto YouTube. So yeah, you probably haven't heard of us though, because we're not a community who massively advertises and boasts about our trading results, if you like, because we make money from trading, you know, so we don't it's not something we prioritize, if you like. Like if you want to get access to us, you get access to us. We won't go out looking for you, if that makes sense. So we're back on now. Everything will get tracked, and then yeah, we trade most weekdays. So I'm on most weekdays. If I've got other stuff on, sometimes I'll let you know. Most weekdays from 8 AM UK time. If you want to know when I'm on or if I'm not on, go into our Discord, go into our public chat, which is a free Discord, and I'll put in there if I'm not on. Basically, that just saves you looking and sitting here at 8 o'clock waiting for me. You can sort of see details in our public chat, and plus you can ask questions in that free public chat as well in Discord. We also have a free Facebook community group, which if you go into the descriptions, you can see that there. If you want the blueprint to how I trade, the Meraki strategy, well, it's not really a strategy, it's just a way of trading and reading the charts. I do believe the way I trade is the default setting of how you're meant to read charts. If you want the blueprint, again, you can get access to that in the descriptions. There's a link there. We also have a prop firm, if you want a reliable prop firm where you know you're going to get payouts, and you don't get stupid excuses like the moon is aligned with the stars, so we're not paying you out, because I've been on loads of prop firms where they haven't paid you out over stupid excuses. As long as you stay within the rules, obviously you're going to get paid out. Yeah, that's a bit about us really, guys. So welcome to the stream. We won't be on Monday because bank holiday here in the UK, so I might be going away, I think. Haven't decided yet. And so we'll be back on Tuesday, trading again. This week's been dreadful, I won't lie. I haven't had one trade this week. I didn't trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nothing, Thursday nothing. I mean, we had sell stops and buy stops and things like that. I got in a trade yesterday which hit break even. It wasn't taken on stream, so I'll only put the stats on stream if we've took it on stream. That's all I'll do. I won't ever put stats on if I haven't took it on stream. I'll tell you what, I'll get up last year's stats. Oh, it's last year's logbook. Logbook 2023. So this was last year's takings, okay? Let me see if that's worked. Yeah, so this was last year's takings. So this was based on a 100k account. Staying within the rules of a prop firm, okay? And this is what we took money-wise, pips-wise on in last year. We only ever had one full loss, and that was in February. Yeah, February. And every trade taken has its own YouTube link, so you can see the trade, what we took. You can see the live, what we took the trade on, and everything's sort of tracked now. Like I said, this is based off one account. But yeah, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 500% months within that month we had. And this is what I say, they're not huge profits, and this is the thing with trading. People get mixed up where if you're making 20, 40% profits a month, it means you're either risking a lot, it means you can lose a lot. 1 to 5% a month is, even 1 to 3% you make trading, but every month consistently, that's where you'll be in the top traders, top 1% traders. Okay, so it's all about consistent profits, not really about because you think if you average 1% a month or 2% a month, but you do that every month, all you need to do, but 2% on a 10k account is not much, but 2% on 4 200k funded accounts, it's quite a lot. Yeah, so you just up your capital. And people sort of can't really see that in trading, but that's really the way you need to switch your mindset to, thinking like that. Okay, the hours opened up, no bottom wick, this is nice. I'm looking at taking a sell here, guys, with a potential second entry at 21,239. Oh, this is nice. Can we pop up? Stops would be 21,298. Oop. Nice long weekend this weekend. So the guys who are watching on YouTube, where are you from? Where are you from? Drop it in the chat where you're from. Let's get the chat going if we can. Elijah, where are you from if you're still watching, mate? How long have you been trading for? And what do you think your biggest hurdle is in trading? What's holding you back? What are you struggling with? The hardest part in trading, I think, is the getting through the break-even stage. That break-even stage can last for ages, and then you can always pop back into it as well. So staying profitable, it's like being on a bit of a scales. So you got profitability, profitable, non-profitable. What it is, you can tip to profitable, but you can always tip back to non-profitable. So it's all about just keeping the scales like that, profitable. Uganda, you're from Uganda. Nice. How long have you been trading for? How long have you been trading for, and what's your biggest problem in trading? What holds you back? Can we get a pop-up here, guys? 30 close bearish, got no bottom wick. So we're going to have an entry here, and I'll be taking a second entry here as well. And if we pull back down, we'll close this at break even. We'll have this risk-free. But I'll also be going risk-free here, guys. All we're trying to see is if this is the daily giving us a top wick before the flip to the downside. That's all I'm after. And the daily, so this daily here, what I'm expecting is something like up, test this previous wick, and then a flip and drive to the downside exactly like this. That's what I'm seeing if we can catch. Yeah, and our range is down. I'll be closing full at 27.80. However, I am interested in wing back buys from around these levels as well. If price reverses from here, it comes down, you could potentially take sellers below. 3 years in trading. Okay, that's good. And how are you getting on? Are you profitable, or are you still learning? Where do you think you are at? And this is the thing with trading, you've got to be honest with yourself. Everybody wants to say they're profitable. Especially with social media. Social media is crazy because you've got loads of fake traders on there. Especially if they come from like MLM companies. MLM traders are the worst because obviously they'll do anything to get a subscription. Oh yeah, trust me, I know because I used to do it. Entries. Yeah, what, like too early? Or you're too late? The thing with the entries is you got to look at trading. So the way I look at trading is like I sort of military. Bring like a military spin on it. So for example, we've got a wing back sell here. So this is my ambush. I've set an ambush for price. And just like in the military, I used to be in the military. You set an ambush. The enemy might not come through your ambush, but if they do, they're getting it. And that's the way trading is. So with your entries, sometimes you'll miss. I mean, we missed one yesterday by like 5 pips, missed our entry, then dropped through the floor. Yeah, and I miss loads of entries. I miss entries by like 2-3 pips, but at the end of the day, that's my ambush. I need price to come to it. You're not profitable, that's fine. What I would recommend is 3 months of getting on these streams every day, okay, or when I'm on. 3 months. You'll be literally knocking on the door. You'll be knocking on the door. As long as you're taking in the information and you haven't got me in the back. The thing what you don't want to do is just have me on the background and just wait for the entry and then just put the digits in. You need to sort of look what I'm saying and why am I taking it. And if you do that for 3 months, you'll be sorted. So on average, they say, I do believe like my community, we've halved it, but on average with trading, about 4 years on average it can take to become profitable. 4 years. Okay, I do believe at Relentless we've halved it. We've had people, the quickest we've had someone from no experience to passing a funded challenge is 6 months. 6 months. That's the quickest. But still, they're on that scales. They always pop back and then they come back. But still, it's way ahead of many others. What's the weather like in Uganda? Is it hot? Get them at you being red hot. Come on, get back up there. I'm hoping that this is not the rejection. Come down. We have broke a high now, so you have got liquidity to come down, but I want to see if we can get another pop out. Nice, man. Night. Well, we've had sunshine all week here in Wales. Lovely sunshine. We're expecting this to flip back to the upside. That's what we're after. Come on, can we flip back up? There's the flip back up. Yeah, guys. Come on. Come on then, Rosie. I just don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening. Nine minutes left. Blue ball. Get out. Not happening, guys, unfortunately. Yeah. It's not happening. It might happen with the next hour, but I'm not staying on. The 2 hours closed, respecting the minor support. 3 hour hasn't closed yet. Might need the next 3 hour. And yeah, these are still valid, to be honest with you. They're still valid. That's what I've got going on. 2 wing back sells. Good luck if you catch them. But other than that, guys, I'm going to shoot off, and I'll see you back on Tuesday. We'll be back on live trading. So have a fantastic weekend. See you then, guys. Bye now.